Isaiah Hartenstein has spoken out on his impending free agency, and we have to talk about it. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into the video as we always do. Because recently Isaiah Hartenstein was asked about his impending free agency where the New York Knicks do not hold bird rights over him, and he was very candid with what he had to say, though also promoting the fact that he does love playing for the New York Knicks. So here we go. Right here, what Hartenstein had to say on free agency is, right now, I'm a New York Knick. That's the biggest thing. I feel like, yeah, sometimes you have that in the back of your mind. That's normal. At the end of the day, I want to be in New York, but it's a business. I mean, a pretty generic quote from a guy who's hitting free agency. There's nothing too shocking there. He didn't say, oh, yeah, I'm out, or I guarantee I'm going to stay with the Knicks. I'll take a pay cut to do so. I understand the money is not great. But look, with the way that Isaiah Hartenstein is playing, there is going to be some team that offers him enough money to be a starting center where it would be shocking if he didn't take it. And I highly doubt that that team is going to be the New York Knicks because of the existence of Mitchell Robinson and what Robinson has been able to do with the New York Knicks throughout his tenure, especially when considering the 2023 NBA playoffs. Now, obviously, there's the concern with Robinson and his injuries and the fact that he's usually good to miss 20 games per year. And now for the second season of his career, he has had a season-ending injury fairly early on, which absolutely sucks because Robinson was having by far the best season of his career. He looked like the defensive player of the year, or at least in the conversation. Just the offensive rebounding was the work of something that you have never really seen before in this era of basketball. But now Robinson's done for the year, and Hartenstein stepped in, and I think we were all sort of happy, like, hey, at least we do have this great backup center who's arguably the best backup center in the NBA, at least in the top two, the other one being Naz Reid. And so not all hope is lost, and the second that Hartenstein became the Knicks starter, he was balling out. If you look here, as a starter, Hartenstein is averaging 6.9, basically 7 points per game, along with 10 rebounds and 3 assists in the 8 games that he has started so far. And for the season, he has averaged 6.3 points per game, which is a second to his career high, being his final season with the Los Angeles Clippers, and really his only season with the Los Angeles Clippers, along with 7 rebounds, which is a career high. He's getting nearly 2 assists per game, which is nice, especially with the Knicks, because it's kind of hard to do so. He's averaging over a steal per game, or really exactly 1 steal per game for the first time of his career. He's also blocking 1 shot a game, and he's shooting 59% from the field, and on like 3 threes that he's taken on the year, he hit 1 of them. So, I mean, that's something. But look, we know what Isaiah Hartenstein's there to do. He's a decent playmaker for a big man. He's going to be one of the best offensive rebounders in the NBA, and he's just a player who is deserving of being an NBA starter after all. Clearly, he's very good friends with Mitchell Robinson. We've seen that in the past. He actually went to Mitchell Robinson's baby shower for his daughter. And there's a photo of Mitch and Mitch's girl and Hartenstein and his girl, and they're there together, and it's great. They're best friends almost. They talk on the phone after every single game. The two have this unshakable bond. The only problem is one of them gets to start and the other one doesn't. Now, I'm okay with a world where each of them plays exactly 24 minutes a night for the Knicks, but the question is, are they? I think Robinson, yes, he'd be cool with it, but maybe Hartenstein wouldn't be because he'd be the one who has to take the pay cut to only play 24 minutes per game off the bench, where he could be getting nearly 29 as a starter somewhere else in the NBA. What the Knicks have to hope for is that there's a situation that doesn't not mirror the situation of Austin Reeves, where there's just no market for you right there, so you can sort of go back to the team you're on a discount. Because Reeves had a set price for the Lakers, where it's like, this is the most that you can give me, or the Lakers really had a set price on what they can give Reeves. They had a ceiling, and they went exactly to that ceiling, and no team broke it because there really was no market for Austin Reeves. What the Knicks have to hope is that there's no real market for Isaiah Hartenstein, and as of right now, that's not the most unbelievable thing to really consider, because if you look at the current NBA landscape, how many teams are realistically going to be offering somewhere between 15 and 20 million for Isaiah Hartenstein? Now, is he worth that money? I think there's a great argument for that, but the question is there a team in position to do that? We're not going to go through every NBA team. That would be ridiculous. But just a quick breeze through of each division. I mean, the Knicks division alone, you have the Raptors already paying Pirtle. The Nets have Claxton and Embiid's in the division. And then also just, I mean, you know, Clearly forgot who the Celtics were right there, and they have Porzingis. But then if you just continue through, I mean, yeah, the Charlotte Hornets have a guy like Mark Williams, and then if you look towards teams like Miami or Orlando, they have big men. And then if you go out west where Hartenstein's been before, I mean, up and coming teams have centers, and I don't think a tanking team is going to pay for Hartenstein. And then most of the better teams in the NBA, even if they would have cap space, I don't think they have a center to use also, or they don't have a position open at center, I should say, for them to use that money on Hartenstein. So yeah, there is a world where maybe the Knicks can bring Hartenstein back for $12 million over the next 2 years, maybe with a player option after the first year, just to give him a player-friendly contract where if he sees an opportunity to make some big bucks, he can opt out and do that so the Knicks show leniency to him. And then he gets to come back up Mitch, play pretty similar minutes to Mitch, and have the best center duo in the league, honestly, when you're talking about guys who are replacing someone. I mean, there's almost no drop-off from Mitch to Hartenstein. I do think Mitch is a little bit better, but it's not something drastic. And because of that, you can also turn around and look the other way of, well, Hartenstein's probably not going to be making as much money as Mitchell Robinson does, and as much as we paid Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson has more trade value. Do we consider making a Mitchell Robinson trade? And that's not going to happen over this season. If it were to happen, it would happen over the offseason, but the Knicks do love Mitch. They feel very strongly about this. They think that Mitch is really one of their best players and one of the most valuable players on the team. I mean, Quentin Grimes said that, and if we just continue to take a look here at Isaiah Hartenstein and why maybe this could make sense for the Knicks, this is the list of the most offensive rebounds in the league since December 9th when it was announced that Mitch would be done for the season, or when Mitch played his final game of the season. The number all the way to the right, that is the amount of offensive rebounds. The game right next to it is games played. Isaiah Hartenstein is third with 55 offensive rebounds since December 9th. Those numbers are incredible. The only two people ahead of him are Andre Drummond and Clint Capella, who are literally in the NBA because they are incredible rebounders. That is basically both of their whole shticks. Given Clint is a good defender, after all, can't knock him and say he's a poor defender. He is a low block defender. And Hartenstein is in that category with the best rebounders in the league for racking up those offensive boards. He has been so unbelievable. To just have that game that he recently had when he scored 10 points, had 20 rebounds, and 5 blocks. You don't see Mitchell Robinson doing that, and Hartenstein just went out there and did it, and he actually makes the defense a little more honest on offense because he has some offensive ability in the way where Mitch is just a straight-up roll and lob threat and offensive rebound machine who's great at kicking the ball out, and all those things are great, and it works for the Knicks, especially now with OG Anunoby, because those second chance threes, the best way, as JJ Redick says, to get an open three is to get it off of an offensive rebound. When you have Brunson, DiVincenzo, and Anunoby out there on the perimeter, including Julius Randle, who I know is not the greatest shooter in the world, but as your fourth best shooter on a team, that is really not that bad at all. And I do see why the Knicks value Mitch, but Hartenstein is not that far behind, and Hartenstein is probably better at kicking the ball out, because when you compare the two ways of getting that open three, it's pulling down the offensive rebound, then kicking it out. Mitch is better at pulling down the offensive rebound. There's no discussion. He's the best in the league at that. Hartenstein is a better passer than Mitch. So it's not like there's this big drop-off. Hartenstein has that vision. He has a really good vision for a center. It's why Wally Szczerbiak called him Jokic of the East for a little bit last year, because he has incredible passing vision and his outlet passing is great. So you really could use him a lot in some different scenarios than Mitch. I would love if they could keep both guys, but I just don't know if that's realistic. And the Knicks love Mitch. I mean, if you look here, you've probably seen this report already. I'm not trying to drop like new news exactly with this one, but the Knicks aren't interested in including Mitchell Robinson in a potential trade for Karl Anthony Towns. Multiple sources said the Knicks have indicated they would want to start Towns next to Robinson, similar to how the Wolves do it with Towns and Rudy Gobert, that is. So that kind of takes the wind out of the sails of, okay, well, maybe the Knicks will trade Mitch. If they're not going to trade him for Karl Anthony Towns, which, I mean, obviously would make sense. It's not like the Timberwolves are going to trade Karl Anthony Towns in a package for Mitch when you have Rudy Gobert on your team. That doesn't make any sense. But you're also just looking at a situation where the Knicks probably don't want to trade Mitchell Robinson in general. Not only is he the longest tenured Knick, but he's one of the most valuable players on the team. He was the most valuable player on the Knicks for when he was playing, and I think the Knicks truly do believe in him, and they're sure that he can be the starting center on a championship level team, where maybe Hartenstein has not proved that just yet. However, I think he's barreling towards the way of proving that, and I genuinely do think overall the Knicks are going to lose Isaiah Hartenstein in free agency, and that is going to suck for the Knicks. That's one of the reasons why Precious Achiuwa is here, because they might need to figure out who's their backup center next year, but he's not going to be as good as Isaiah Hartenstein unless he is Isaiah Hartenstein, because there's no market for him. I don't want to say let's hope that Isaiah Hartenstein can't get paid, because I love the guy. I'm such a big fan. But also as a Knicks fan, like, and I think he would understand. Like, he's like, yeah, I get it. Like, I'm nice, honestly. Like, I'm great. And so I hope that Hartenstein sticks around. I would love a situation where the Knicks just go 24 minutes, Mitch, 24 minutes, Hart. Doesn't matter who's starting. Hartenstein finishes the games. Mitch starts the games. You get some quick outlet passing from Hartenstein. You get one of the best rebounders, the best offensive rebounder in the game, Mitchell Robinson. That is a two-headed monster. That is like when a baseball team takes two closing pitchers and just teams them up and says, one of you, it's going to switch nights. One of you is going to pitch 8th inning. One of you is going to pitch 9th inning. And we are going to make a 7-inning baseball game. Teams like the New York Yankees do that. Also, stay tuned. Yankees Digest coming soon. But really, I would love if the Knicks can keep their center duo, but it does not feel realistic. Hopefully, Hartenstein sticks around for the long haul. He's clearly made an impact at the Knicks. He's broken out here, and he is on one of the best value contracts in the NBA that unfortunately comes to an end this offseason. So thank you guys so much for watching. First Hartenstein video of Knicks Digest. We did it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like the video. Leave a comment. Either throw some hate my way, throw some love my way. I don't really care. I love reading them. I love interacting with you guys. And turn on that notification bell. Subscribe to Knicks Digest. Have a great day, and go Knicks.